Long before Rome rose to power, before the Great Wall of China was built, and before Alexander the Great even dreamed of conquest, there was Persia, an empire so vast, so rich, and so advanced. Persia's story begins in the rugged highlands of modern-day Iran. Around 550 BCE, Cyrus the Great, a visionary leader from the Achaemenid tribe, united the Persian people and began a campaign that would create one of the largest empires the world had ever seen. But Cyrus wasn't just a conqueror, he was a liberator. When he captured Babylon, he didn't enslave the people, he set them free. His decree, the Cyrus Cylinder, is regarded by many scholars as the first charter of human rights. It promoted freedom of religion, abolition of forced labor, the return of displaced peoples to their homelands. And remember, this was over 2,500 years ago. Under leaders like Cyrus, Darius the Great, and Xerxes, the Achaemenid Empire stretched from India to Greece, covering more than 5.5 million square kilometers. It ruled over 70 different ethnic groups: Persians, Babylonians, Egyptians, Greeks, Jews, Indians, all under one administration. So how did they manage such diversity? The answer lies in tolerance and smart governance. Local customs and religions were respected. Provinces called satrapies had local governors. Taxes were fair and transparent. A unified legal system helped maintain justice. They weren't just warriors. They were bureaucrats, engineers, and visionaries. The Persians built an infrastructure that would make even the Romans jealous. The royal road stretched 1,500 kilometers, with stations and fresh horses every few miles. Couriers could travel the entire empire in under 7 days. Qanites, underground aqueducts, brought fresh water across deserts. These systems were so advanced, many are still in use today. Persepolis, their ceremonial capital, was a wonder of architecture: giant columns, stone reliefs, grand staircases, and golden roofs. They even created the world's first true postal system, long before anything in Europe or China. The Persian military was vast and elite, but one unit stood out. The Immortals minus 10,000 elite soldiers, who were immediately replaced if injured or killed. To enemies, it looked like they never died. They used chariots, cavalry, archers, and heavily armored infantry. War elephants from India, advanced siege techniques and engineering. And yet, they rarely fought wars for dominance. Persians preferred diplomacy and alliances. War was the last resort. Before Islam and Christianity, Persia followed Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions. Founded by Zarathustra Zoroaster, it taught the eternal battle between good Ahura Mazda and evil Angra Mainyu, the importance of free will and righteous living. Ideas like heaven, hell, judgment day, all of which later appeared in Abrahamic religions. Persian culture emphasized education, art and architecture, science and medicine, poetry and storytelling. Even words like paradise come from Persian, derived from paridesa, meaning walled garden. Unlike many ancient civilizations, Persian women had surprising rights. They could own property. They could work and get paid, some even led armies or managed royal estates. Ancient tablets from Persepolis mention women earning salaries and holding high positions. Persia was centuries ahead of its time. The empire eventually fell to Alexander the Great in 330 BCE, after the Battle of Gaugamela. But even in defeat, Persia's legacy lived on. Alexander adopted many Persian customs, married a Persian princess, and even kept Persian administrators. Later empires, from the Romans to the Ottomans, copied Persian systems of governance, road building, and taxation. Even today, modern Iran carries echoes of this ancient greatness. Though the Achaemenid Empire fell over 2,300 years ago, its echoes still shape the world today. The concept of tolerance in governance, pioneered by Cyrus, is referenced by modern leaders, and even engraved at the United Nations headquarters. The Cyrus Cylinder has been called the first Bill of Human Rights by many scholars, and remains a symbol of freedom. Architectural styles from Persepolis influenced both Islamic and Western art, and elements of Persian design appear in palaces from India to Europe. Zoroastrian ideas, such as free will, heaven, and the final judgment, laid the groundwork for major world religions. Even the word Persian still evokes elegance, power, and a rich cultural legacy. Today, Iran is home to a people who still proudly carry the torch of that ancient heritage in their poetry, their pride, and their love for history. Ancient Persia was not just a land of kings and warriors, it was a land of poets, prophets, builders, and dreamers. A civilization whose influence lives on, not in ruins and museums, but in the very ideas that shape our modern world.